Welcome to the Viking Spotlight. This is a podcast about people, events, and projects in North Canton City School District. I'm your host, Jeff Wendorf. Today, we're talking to Mia Thomas about her selection as North Canton's Educator of the Year for the Stark County Educational Services Center Annual Education Celebration. Mrs. Thomas has been a teacher for 37 years, with 14 of those in Plain Local and 23 here in North Canton. She currently teaches 6th grade in English Language Arts at North Canton Middle School. Principal David Eby, who nominated Mrs. Thomas for this award, said she's best known for the connection she has to her students. She greets each student every day at her door for every class period. They have a choice of greetings they can choose according to their mood for the day. Some choose a high five, some a fist bump, others a fun hand gesture, and some a mere hug. Her goal is to make sure that she acknowledges every student every day they're with her. A profound gesture during this pandemic day and age is certainly profound and fantastic. So welcome, Mia.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Glad you're here and took some time out. And I know we want to get you back today, your kids, to greet them. So how'd you get started with the greetings and saying hello to the kids every day?
Well, of course, I saw it on Facebook because that's how everybody comes up with great ideas anymore.
Sure.
And actually, when I saw it on Facebook, it was designed as an elementary tool that elementary teachers used. And I have a background. My first 23 years of education was in 1st and 2nd grade. And so I still have that memory of kids coming to school and being excited about everything you do and having joy. And so I thought, well, maybe for the middle school kids. So I tried to tone it. The elementary teachers have these cute little pictures that go with the greetings, but I thought, yeah, probably not that. So we just put them on the wall, and every day they just point to what they want, and we do it. And they've invented new ones, and they've come up with things. But it's just a way to say hi to every kid every day.
That's awesome. And all of us need a hi every day,
we
don't
do.
we? Yeah, that's great.
We do.
Awesome. Well, a lot of people say that teaching middle school is a tough job. I believe it is because of all the challenges that they're going through. There's a huge growth spurt in middle school and so on. You've had great success, and congratulations to that. What's your philosophy on dealing with 6th graders?
Really no different than my philosophy was with 1st and 2nd graders. The 6th graders are just kind of trying to find their way. So when I came to the middle school, it was kind of a shock to see all the different moods and just everything that the 6th graders go through. But it's just the same basic. I respect them. I make them feel like they're welcome in my classroom no matter what. There's no judgments. I expect things out of them. I expect them to follow the rules. I expect them to be respectful for to their classmates and to their teachers. And I think creating that environment, it just brings out the best in them. Not that every day is perfect, because it's not, but that's what we strive for.
Right. That's great. So high expectations. I heard you say that, and lots of love. That's awesome.
That's
good.
it.
Well, you're known for stressing the importance of reading. That's great. You have invited numerous people into your classroom to talk to students about reading. How'd you get started with that aspect?
Well, there's always been a Right to Read week. That was a big deal when I was in the elementary school. So we just kind of incorporated. My team teacher, Katie Barber, and I came up with the idea to invite people from all kinds of different professions into our classroom, because it's like raising your own kid. You know, you tell your kids something, but they don't listen to you. But when they hear it from someone else, then it means a whole new thing. So we brought in all kinds of different people. The mayor came in and presented, and the kids were like wowed with him. We had parents, we had board members, just so the kids could see the value. And each person spoke on the importance of reading, what their day looked like involving reading and writing, so that it was like a practical experience for the kids to show. If they want to be successful, those are 2 tools that they need to be able to use every day.
Great examples of why this is important, right? Why
exactly.
reading is important. Have you seen a change in recent years or the last 10 years in student interest in reading?
I've seen a change in everything in the last 10 years.
Sure, right?
I think we compete. Now it's a competition with electronics, I mean, everything they write about has to do with video games and TikTok, and so when they come to school, they want that same level of entertainment, and it's really hard to compete with that. But ironically, the most engaging conversations we have and the most engaging units I do always focus around a novel. So when you put a book in their hand, they still love it. They just don't know that they love it anymore because they're too busy wrapped up with their electronics.
Right.
And so I really tried to persuade them. We go to the library every other week and get books out. Just that paper book in your hand, I think sometimes has a lot of value.
Yeah, that's great. That's for sure. I mean, a novel or a book of any kind, you learn it, you transport to where that setting is, and that's great. What advice would you give to parents to help them encourage their kids to read at home? And we send out things in the summer and read, but how do you help parents help their kids?
Well, I think modeling is the best thing you can do. And I know this is a day and age where people don't read the newspaper anymore, so the kids don't really see that either. But I think anytime a kid sees a parent reading something and then the parent communicating to them the value of what they just read is really important. And reading to your kids. I mean, my sixth graders, I think we forget sometimes that sixth graders are still little kids and they still like some things that little kids like. They love to be read to. So I think reading to your sixth grader, of course, an age-appropriate book or whatever is very, very valuable. And it's great family time, too. So
Yeah, great. Yeah, and we have to work for that anymore.
You do.
Lots of distractions. Well, you have a pen pal program, too, that you use with your students that includes adults as well as students from other school districts. How does that work?
That's one of those things that I did as a first and second grade teacher with 20 kids. And then when I came to the middle school, I thought, what a great idea to do pen pals. But with 110 kids, it's a little more challenging. But we do everything electronically. At first, the kids started writing on paper, and I would proof their drafts. But once a month, we have adults just from around the community, from around the country. A lot of my former students are pen pals. We have a sixth grade class at Massillon Middle School that's actually going to come visit us in a couple weeks.
Very cool.
And then we have first and second graders from Taft Elementary School in Plain Local. So there's a whole gamut of different ages and different types of letters. But I mean, it has been the best thing to motivate my kids to read. And when you see them get their pen pal letters, it's like Christmas. I mean, it's like they're so excited, and they're excited to read. They're excited to write back. And we are culminating it with a meet and greet. With the first and second grades, it's a Google Meet. Mm-hmm. With the sixth graders, they're coming over to Whitwer Park that's a kind of a play date kind of thing. And then our adult pen pals are also invited on Friday the 13th to the little session to meet theirs. A lot of them are away, so they're going to do it in a Zoom meeting. But we tried to arrange so every kid would get to see their pen pal face to face. That's
very cool, to make connections outside of the classroom and through writing and reading. That's great. Awesome stuff. Well, Mr. Eby mentioned that one of the things you do is attend activities of your students and that take place outside the school day. What drives you to go see your students and their activities?
Well, the short answer is it's fun. I mean, I enjoy it. Plus, it shows the kids that I'm invested in them, that I would take time and see what they're interested in. I just went, on Saturday, I went to a ballet, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory down at Canton South, and
Neat.
I do everything. I mean, anything they ask me to go to. I went to my first lacrosse game, which I have no idea what goes on at a lacrosse game at all. I know they score a lot, that's all I know. But that was fun. That was something I probably wouldn't have done had I not had kids that were interested in that. So I just try to show them that I'm invested, I care about them, and it's not just me being, giving them homework, or me being a disciplinarian, or me being a teacher at school. It's just, I just want to show them I'm invested in them.
Right. Probably not so much at the middle school, but you sometimes see your kids at a grocery store or out and about in the community, and the young kids especially think you live at school, right?
Oh, they do. Yes. And if you buy toilet paper, oh my gosh, that's the worst.
Yes. We are humans, right?
Right,
yes,
we are.
Yes. Well, not many people stay in the classroom for 37 years. We're blessed that you have, but you're a true professional who comes in every day with a positive attitude and likes working with kids, and certainly it shows. But why remain in teaching for so long?
Because I love it. I don't have a lot of skills other than teaching. I get such satisfaction out of things that you do in the classroom that you can't really do anywhere else. Like, you get a clean slate every day with every kid.
Right.
You get a clean slate every year. If you do something one year and it doesn't really work well, then you get a new chance. You get a chance to start all over, or to tweak it so it's better for the kids. So I guess the bottom line is I just like being with the kids.
Yeah, it shows. Thank you.
Thank
it
you.
shows, and they're fortunate that you're there. Can you share with us a few experiences that you've found the most rewarding over your years?
That's a tough question. I could give you hundreds of examples of great things, but I think the best thing that could happen is when a kid comes back to you and says, thank you. You made a difference in my life, or I get a wedding invitation to a kid I had in first and second grade,
right.
or graduation, invitations, or I don't know, just finding some satisfaction. I just got a message on Facebook last night, actually, from a little guy that I had as a first and second grader who came into our district, and he was almost totally blind. And so we made all kinds of accommodations. And I never really thought about anything. He was a great kid, and I enjoyed him. But he wrote me this message that was just, it was so thoughtful and so kind, and it just kind of, provides that affirmation that
Sure.
you keep going, that maybe you don't make a difference in everybody's life, but if you can make a difference in a couple kids' lives, and
Right.
it's worth it.
Yep. Well, if you think of the lives that you've touched and the kids that you've influenced over the years, and everybody of when they become adults, they think of, okay, who influenced me the most? And a lot of times it's a teacher.
Of course.
And a lot of times because they help them grow, help them with problems, have high expectations for them, but also hold them accountable. So yeah, good stuff. What advice would you give to a new teacher? We recognized you last week for the Teacher of the Year with the ESC, but also they had recognized Rookies of the Year too. What advice would you give to the folks just starting out in education?
Well, actually, I have two of them in my own family.
Yes,
my
you
son
do.
Ben and my daughter Molly are both. Ben's a teacher at Sandy Valley. Molly's in education at Mount Union, and we have that discussion. The good news is they're not going into education with any kind of Pollyanna view. They understand that there are real hurdles to being a teacher, but by far the positives outweigh the negatives. And I think the thing that I tell them, and I would tell anyone, is remember why you got into it in the first place. So when you have a tough day and you go home and you have an issue or a hurdle, just remember you got in it for the kids, and you just got to stay the course, and things always work out the way they're supposed to.
Right. Yeah, they do. And sometimes the kids that are maybe the most acting the most ornery need us the most.
Of course.
And there's something going on somewhere in their lives and they need us. And school is a lot of times the constant that they have and don't aware. So, well, thank you for that. Is there anything else you want to share with our listeners on your success and your influence you have on kids?
Well, I think like in any profession, it's the people that you work with. No one does this journey alone. No one's successful alone. I work with great people at the middle school. I worked with great people at Greentown and in Plain Local. So, and I formed those friendships. Those are lifelong friendships that I've made. So it's like a double bonus. You get to form friendships with people that you'll have for the rest of your life. Plus, you get to impact a lot of kids' lives. So that's important. And I think just getting kids to want to come to school. And it's not always easy when you teach English because a lot of kids don't like English.
Right.
So I think that my daily challenge, and maybe that's why I do the Pen Pals and that's why I do the Freedom to Read Week, is trying to get them to love to come to English. It's my goal.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. And I think a lot of adults would say, gosh, I wish I would have known then what I know now.
Correct.
And
for sure.
English might have been a little bit better experience for me, especially, but it all turns out, it all works out, right?
It does.
But I want to end with another comment from Mr. Eby, and here it is. Mia Thomas understands that to be a great teacher, she must create stimulating lessons that engage even the most difficult learners. Most importantly, she understands that being a caring teacher will do more than raise scores. It helps to raise self-confident human beings. We're very fortunate to have you here in North Canton City Schools, and we know you've touched many lives during your career, and thank you for your dedication.
Thank you.
What a great summary from Mr. Eby for, and that's all true, and we do thank you and congratulate you on your honor. So that's all for today, podcast number 20, believe it or not. And we will certainly want to thank Mrs. Thomas and all of our teaching staff for what they do for our kids every day and the students and our young Vikings. And that it's a great place for kids and I think a great place for staff. And it's because of our coworkers and our folks. So thank you all very much. And especially congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Well, thanks to our listeners for joining us as we learn more about the district and community. Next week, we'll be talking about our annual update for the district and our State of the Schools address. To do it on our podcast, just to do a little different version here. We'll have some slides with information. But if you have suggestions, comments, or anything about our podcast, would like to have any topics covered or have any specific questions, we'd love to have them. So if you could just email us at vikingspotlight@northcantonschools.org. Once again, that email is vikingspotlight@northcantonschools.org. And thank you all very much, and go Vikings.